Yeah,
Good evening,
good.
everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining this webinar. So, the topic for today is talent acquisition for MSMEs, which is an integral part and very critical for any MSMEs to go forward. Our honorable speaker is Mr. Sudhakar sir, who is also co-founder of SME Analytics. He's into HR and marketing department. He has 40 plus years of multi-industry and operational leadership experience. And you could see these are the companies where he has actually worked before. He has huge experience into this particular field in HR and marketing. So we are very honored that Mr. Sudhakar sir would be discussing on this particular topic and explain further. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining, Sudhakar sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you. How many participants? How many of them participants? Participants. How many are there? Okay, good afternoon to all of you. It's nice to meet you here, maybe the end of the COVID, most probably. And thank you, Nilesh Saab, for giving us this opportunity to give a presentation on talent acquisition for MSMEs. As you all know that MSMEs are facing a real problem on talent acquisition and a lot of other problems which you will see. We have been facing because I am a consultant for the MSMEs for a couple of companies, and we have seen the ups and downs of the organization, and there is a lot of iteration and instability in the employees and that everything. So we'll just go through one by one on the slides. There are about it will take about 1 hour, out of which 20 15 to 20 minutes will cater to the question and answer session. See, if you see the history of the personal management, the old terminology, IR and PM, that is industrial relations and personal management. That was that title for the now HR. We call it as HR. So there are a lot of changes both in terms of management terminology and also in the technology. So because of this, and there's a lot of change in the the curriculum and also on the cost of living, and because of this, a lot of demand has gone up for the employees. So let us discuss. I mean, let us see how these changes have taken place and what to do to overcome these challenges of talent acquisition and iteration and employee welfare and other things. So the journey starts now. We talk about human capital management because that is what is the terminology now in the current trends. So the journey of the employees starts from the entry, then you have the induction program, then development, and then growth and all, and then slowly he may continue for a long time, or he may cut short his tenure in the organization journey. So the main thing is high iteration rate, absenteeism, and migration of workforce. So these are the critical factors of any employee. So in this scenario, how the thing will be a stability to bring stability in the employees and see how the organization can grow. So the business performance and the market existence can only be possible by the experienced workforce. So here, what happens is, especially in the MSME scenario, the number of employees will be maybe around 20 to 100 maximum, or maybe around that. So, but on an average, the employee strength will be around 50 to 60. That's what the MSME normally it will be. So the total importance of the organization depends on a couple of people. So that's what the business performance of the market depends on. the experienced force, there will be a lot of imbalance in the organization, and getting another person will be a difficult task at the senior level. So that's why the employees are treated as investors. They are the people who are the backbone of the company, and definitely they play a key role in the development of the organization. So that's why now, in order to have the people, they are also we are also the management, the top management is coming out with stock option, and that is one of the thing. And stock of competencies, knowledge, social and personality attributes, these are also have to be taken into account in order to see that the human capital is taken care of. So the ability to perform labor, in fact, labor is not the right word, but they are all called as working executives and that type of thing. So these are the some of the things which are now taking place, and changes are in the process, and a lot of changes have already taken place. So we have to change in with the technology, and also with the employees' needs to be recognized, and steps must be taken to improve these capabilities and skills. So that is very important, because what exactly is the human or the employees are expecting, they have to be recognized, and steps have to be taken to improve their skills and capabilities. So now, what is talent acquisition? Especially for the MSMEs, talent acquisition is a process. Actually, it is process of sourcing, selecting, onboarding new employees into the company. It is often, that's the business leaders. They have to see that these employees are sourced from different sources. We have different types of sources available now, that earlier it used to be a paper advertisement, and a lot of MNC SMEs are taking people through references and that type of thing. But it will not go long, it will not right practice in the long run. So we have to also see different sources, and call 3 4 employees, discuss with them, and then take them onto the board. So that's what the more challenges, it is more challenging and difficult process that than a simple recruitment process. Recruitment process is different from talent acquisition. Talent acquisition is a superset of recruitment. Okay, so you have to. It's something like selling the brand of the company. So that's the way in which the HR have to take the lead instead of the old personal management. Now you're talking about human resources management, and that's what it is. So now let us see what exactly are the challenges, some of the challenges faced by MSMEs in getting talent. Okay, because uh, the human capital or human resources are so vital that they are actually the pillars of the organization, and we have to see that they are motivated and retained properly, and they are being given the required inputs, so that the job enrichment is done, and then they stay with the organization and grow with the organization. So talent acquisition, so lack of expertise. So okay, so what will happen is, especially for the SMEs and small and medium sized organizations, you can't have more number of people and have succession planning, or you cannot have 2 3 people on the same slot. Bigger the organization, then the system will be different. Whereas the smaller the organization, you have to be working on a tight rope. You can't you can't always use the hire and fire policy, because there will be a lot of attrition and the name of the organization will be at stake. There will be a bad name in the organization, in the industry. So lack of tools and software support is one of the criteria which now things have to be taken into account, because the software is there everywhere. In is a small or from zero to 250 or 1000 or 2000 crore company. So software, you have to have your website, you have to have Gmail and that type of thing and that. So lack of these tools also, and also the software support should be there. Limited talent management professionals. So the talent management professionals are limited. So these are, in fact, it has to be critically looked into, and we have to take more care on hiring people. Okay, so that is the one of the challenges, and uh, motivating them, and see that they are up to the standards, reskilling and that everything have to be taken into account. Inability to offer career growth is one more issue which have to be taken into more consideration, because we have to see that the growth path of the employee, whether it is small or in the middle or lower or in the top management, we have to see that the growth, career growth is shown to the employee, so that he stays with the organization. And lack of resources on and understand underfunded HR management system. So the resources have to be properly hired and groomed in such a manner they take care of the organization, and the organization in turn takes care of the employees. Now, challenges for HR in talent management to the MSMEs then you have there are four challenges, okay, which will go one after the other. Challenges faced by HR during talent management. Basically, finding the right talent for the right job and at the right place. So this is a simple formula for recruitment. Uh, recruitment, the talent pool for SMEs has always been quite lacking in enough qualified candidates that lead to inefficient hiring. The hiring itself, we have to see that the recruitment is done in a proper way, so that you should not be overqualified or should not be underqualified. You should have the required the job description, job specification has to be matched, and then we have to do the recruitment. The hiring process overall is also generally too expensive for a small and medium sized business. So because if you see that how you can, when the organization especially it is growing, and at the same time the employees are required, so this is the way the challenge comes for the HR, because you can't invest more money on hiring, and if a bad hiring, then you will have to face a lot of expenses, and so you have to be very judicial in very careful in selecting the employees. So recruitment plays is one of the challenge for the HR department in any of the SMEs. Okay, then skill training. The training is one aspect which is should be an ongoing process. You can't say that once, even at the top management, the directors also, they also have training programs. There are organizations like who Institute of directors, training institutes are also there where they train the directors. So it's not that training is required only for the entry level people, and skill training, especially with the change in the technology, so fast the technology is changing. You have to be in pace with the technology, and we are now talking about AI, ML, and blockchain. And the other day we had discussion with one of the people, one of the organizations. They are talking about AR and VR. There's augmented reality and virtual reality and all. We are talking about virtual office concept and cloud computing and that everything. So unless until the training for everyone every employee in the organization is given, and reskilling and upskilling, and these are the terms, these are the terminology which is going on now, and that's why that is very crucial for organization. Requires proper induction and training. This is very essential because what will happen is once an employee is taken in on board, taken on board to the organization, he or she has to be treated properly and should be given induction program. So bigger the organization, there are a lot of expenditure will be involved, will be incurred uh, by the organization to the employee. In the similar manner, the SMEs also have to be taken care of in taking the employees into the organization, and proper induction program and training is given appropriately so that he he likes the organization in the first go. That is very important. First impression is the best impression. So that is one thing. And due to lack of digital support, SMEs are not able to perform proper induction and onboarding process. So we have to have good software, and also the computer applications and programs and that everything. Not that you have the tally package, because some of the MSMEs we are handling, we have gone in for ERP, introduced ERP instead of having a tally. And now the tally, over and above ERP, is automation. So that's why you have to be in pace with the technology. When it comes to training, large companies are taking the help of external experts to train and upskill their employees. SMEs, on the other hand, cannot afford external training. But this okay, but actually we have to see that SMEs also go in for external training, or take a person who has the skills of training or employees within the organization. So that is also possible. Even though it is not, it is expensive to get trained externally, but internally also we can identify a person who can train the employees and see that they are up to the mark. So now the policy and appraisal and feedback. So these are the things which are very essential for any size of organization, either it is medium, small, or big, because everything should be in white and black. Because they cannot have an old system of, I should not say, but Marwadi type of an organization where they say that, okay, I know everything is in my brain. That is not humanly possible. So you have to see that it is all documented properly, and the file is maintained for each employee, whether it is on paper or on the file on the machine, on the computer itself, so that you have the facts and figures to give the increments or to give the promotion or to change the designation. There are so many factors which will motivate the employee. It's not just the salary, it's the perks, it's the whether other benefits offered to the employee. So for this, what is very essential is to have appraisals. So it's called self appraisal and performance appraisal every year or quarterly. You have the appraisals, and then fill up the appraisals and take the feedback from the employees of how they felt that year or quarter. Take the suggestions from the employees, and the organization also has to change. So this is a constant process. So likewise, talent retention. This is another very important factor, because especially as I was just telling you, the organization, especially SMEs, will basically depend on 4 5 pillars of the organization. So any one pillar, either design or production or marketing or whatever, finance, accounts, uh, leave, the organization will collapse. That type of that is the reason why retention is very important. And there are a lot of now, as I told you, that stock option is there. So plus you have job enrichment and changing the designations, job rotation also is one of the thing which you can which we can adopt. And giving more responsibility, either in, if it's a marketing, giving more area or more, one or more people person under him, and that type of thing, to see that they uh, grow with the organization. So retention is very important. So challenges again continued, keeping up with the latest technology and innovation. So this is what now we are talking about. Uh, 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 Technology, latest technology like AI, ML, and all, blockchain and things, and also introduction of automation and virtual office concept, virtual cloud computing. These are the some of the new latest technologies which have to be taken into to see that the uh, technology is adopted in the latest methodology. Then statutory and labor complaints, like the wages, and they have a lot of acts, Factory Act, Labor Act, but these are all will be more applicable in the manufacturing industry. Okay, so these are some of the challenges, because now they are not called as I told you, labor. They are all the executives, workforce, and white collar, blue collar employees. They are called that type of terminology has evolved into the system in the recent. And 60% of HR professionals in India feel that reskilling the workforce to work with new technologies is their biggest challenge. So, next, some studies on acquisition challenges, MSMEs, especially the data which I have collected. In fact, from different sources, cost of bad hair is 30% drop in earnings. So, bad hair, because what will happen if you have a bad hair, then you will be spending time on him or her, and then once he leaves, then again you have to do the thing. So there are a lot of time waste of time, and also the efforts and credibility also will be lost. So you have to have very careful in selecting people, selecting employees. 15% of candidates are less qualified in skill and knowledge. So acquiring skilled manpower is a real challenge for MSMEs. And 62.26.6, 26.2% talented candidates expect inappropriately high rise in salaries and wages. So You have to see that they are compensated with something else which will motivate them to uh, work in the organization. So that type of systems have to be evolved. 12.9% MSMEs have to offer other benefits, allowances, etc. to acquire high talent. So, like as I told you, some benefits, conveyance allowance, to and fro conveyance, that type of thing have to be taken into account. So these are some of the things, and then we have a process. There are five processes, source, recruitment, hire, and onboard, which also in an organization we have to take into account in organizational needs, find candidates, quality of candidates, hire employees, and onboard employees. So I'll just run around certain things. You're almost 4:30 now, so we have 20 minutes to per question answer session. So sourcing, as we were discussing on sourcing, we will get the lot of latest methods of sourcing the employees apart from the standard Naukri, Monster, and all. A lot of job melas are going on now. So especially those are very useful to SMEs. We have been doing that, a couple of job melas by different private organizations. So the conventional intake, resume take, that's always be applied, because we get some 150 resumes. Once we screen them, we could only get about two or three people on board. So that type of thing is catching up now. So employee branding, employment branding, pre-screening, screening. So these are the things which the HR plays a major role in actually screening the resumes, and then trying to see that the right people have been recruited for the right time. Interview coordination is again a big time consuming process. The candidate doesn't come, and sometimes he comes late, sometimes it doesn't come. So we have to see that the backup is there for the uh, other candidate, so that the organization is not suffered. Next. So hiring, final management, as you know, that there will be 2-3 rounds of hiring at the any level. So technically, especially technically, they have to see is up to the mark or not, and then the approval has to be taken from the finance. The owner has to also get involved in recruitment, if not at the senior level and at the junior level also, at the middle level. So offer extension. Sometimes the employee may not join. He may ask for an extension, or he may not join at all. So these reference checks is very important, because he may not have worked in those organizations. So there are a lot of background verification check companies, or any person's SME can't hire that everything. The one of the employee in the organization has to do the background verification check and take the references. So onboarding is another issue, because background screening, as we have just discussed, and paperwork management, or and then third party vendor management. These are the things which so welcome, you're all glad you're all here. So these type of how you recruit, how you onboard him, how do you welcome a new employee, how you give the responsibility, how you take care of him. Even small things matter a lot. So onboarding plays a vital role. Retention challenges. Telangana and Andhra, more than 2 million MSME units are looking for fresh talent. At the same time, 1.5 million youth are looking for new job opportunities. So it's a real challenge for the organization and also to the employees or the candidates. SMEs face a challenge lower in the HR area. So arena. So this type of SMEs, they face real challenge in, especially for the starters and attracting the high right talent in is one of the major challenge. Okay, they do not have a structured HR team, but still we have to see that we do justice to the retention criteria. They do not have the structure. Okay, so SMEs do not have any employee branding strategies. So that project them to potential employers. So this is retention, especially for SMEs. It's a real challenge, and the HR has to, because there will be only one HR person or two HR persons, like the accounts people in a small organization or a medium organization, maximum two or three. So with them only, we have to see that these retention challenges are met. Okay, talent retention again, employees who have the right attitude and are keen to work in the MSME sector, candidates who have the knowledge and expertise, experience to fit the job vacancy, minimize the interview time spent by SMEs entrepreneurs. So these are the some of the talent retention uh, methodology and methods have to be adopted very seriously for the SMEs, MSMEs. Why it's difficult? It is difficult for SMEs to retain talent. So it's possible. It's very natural that SMEs have a real problem to retain people, retain employees. So SME is becoming a training ground. That is true. In fact, people come for a simple reason. In fact, a lot of employees think or candidates think that small organizations there will be less people to take it a positive way. But actually, if you see the small organizations, you can learn more than in a big organization where you will be restricted to a particular function and a particular role. That is the catch with the SME. So you should take the half full, half empty type of glass, and half empty. Some sees, but some I see it's half full. So you should take the advantage of the SMEs, and people should see that they work with SMEs. You really get the uh, good experience. I did the same thing. I worked in a 2 years in a small organization, then went into HCL. Okay, so it comes by experience, and it's come by experience. So the 4 R's, that is recruitment should be right, remunerate rightly, reward rightly, and relieve. That is also important, because it's not that a person who decides to leave the organization. It is better we amicably see that he is relieved or he is retained. Both are possible. So we have to identify the needs of the employee, the what exactly why he is leaving, and it's always important to take exit interview with the employee whoever leaves, so that you will know where you stand, the organization, and the employee also should will feel happy that okay, he has definitely, he will not have bad feelings or thing. He may have a good opportunity somewhere he may be living, but at the same time, the organization side point of view, you have to take it positively and relieve him, so that he will tell that others that the organization is good. So that is one way of as we have called of branding. So, yeah, what is this? Yeah, how to reduce iteration. As we already discussed, there are a lot of methods to reduce the iteration because job enrichment and identify the right talent and fill talent and that everything. Create a brand image to the organization. Don't lose your entrepreneurial spirit in taking the reasonable risk in acquiring talent. Give proper reception to the candidates with the human touch, as we already discussed. So these are the some of the things which you have to do to see that they are retained. Actually, this goes very long. You can go in for 1 hour, 1 hour, full 1 or 2 hours. But I'm just trying to cut it short down. And the conclusion is that because we have time for the question answer session, so I'm running it little fast. So revisit your mission and vision, identify the real talent needs and the felt needs, and then create the brand image of the organization. Don't lose. This we have repeated, no? Okay. So an effective HR management is necessary for the proper functioning of small and medium-sized enterprise. So an effective HR management is essential as it ensures that the company is recruiting and retaining the talent that is most. This is very important. Conclusion is that we have to take care of the employees as they are the brand ambassadors for the organization and treat them properly so that they stay in the organization. And talent acquisition is very important. We have to take utmost care in recruiting people. Okay, so this is what our SMEA analytics. We have Babaji's tool software where we have a number of ratios 23, 55 plus 23 ratios. We analyze the SMEs, their balance sheets and all. And then we suggest them how to go about to improve their ratios, whether it's current ratio, liquidity ratio, asset test ratio, or whatever. And that is what the role of SMEA analytics. We have signed an MOU with government of Telangana, where we are, discussing with various SMEs all over Telangana to start with, and we are taking it forward to support them in their financial aspects of the company, and also the other functions also HR, finance, and software technology side and all. So this is our role, SME analytics. We analyze their balance sheets and suggest their remedies. Yeah, so this is the SME analytics. You can go through the website, and you're always welcome to approach us for any assistance or any uh, for all SMEs. We are here to serve you. Yeah. So anything question answer session is almost 440. So question answer sessions, please. Any questions from the audience?
Thank you so much, Sudhakar sir. I mean, it was a very overwhelming session. We could get to know a lot of things regarding talent acquisition in MSMEs, and I could see the responses. It has been wonderful. There are so many questions, and I one by one I'll go through the questions and we'll move ahead. So the first question is how to recruit new entrants, business firms, and what are the steps that should the MSMEs take?
What are the
Steps MSMEs should take actually.
steps?
Yes.
Yeah, for retention,
Yes, sir.
what are the steps to?
So how to for employment, how to recruit new entrant business firms, and what are the steps?
No, I
Sir,
didn't get
while
it.
entering, uh,
So,
Yeah,
sir, I am entering
uh,
in. I am new
yeah,
entrant.
Satyaprakash. Yeah,
Sir,
Satyaprakash.
I am new entrant. So, how to recruit employees? What
Yeah.
are the steps to be taken and the challenges?
Okay. Okay. That's what. See, the steps to be taken to recruit employees. First, you have to have the job specification, job description. You have to identify which is the function which you have to recruit as a marketing, HR, or finance, or quality, or production. And basically on that, the HR job specification has to be framed, and then the thing starts to see that he is recruited, he or she, and then the other things will follow.
Okay.
thank you, sir.
First, yeah, first you have to know what type of person you require, is a bachelor degree or master's degree or a diploma or a ITI. That once the job specification is framed, then the selection and the recruitment will start.
No, how to recruit HR also? I'm registered firm, FMCG firm, manufacturing.
Yeah, yeah,
Now only I registered. So
okay,
that I have to recruit HR and
okay,
employees.
okay,
No,
okay,
uh,
okay,
my case is now I have to recruit all employees and HR.
okay,
Now
okay,
what should I do?
yeah. No, Satyaprakash, what I suggest is if you can if you can contact me on my mobile or on my mail ID, then we can have a discussion and give a solution to your problem, because we have to know more details about your company and other things.
Okay.
No, you're most welcome, Satyaprakash. Thank you so much for your question.
Okay, sir. Can you
That
share
is
your
that
mobile
is the
number
main
and
reason.
mail ID, sir?
Yes, please.
Can you share your mail ID and mobile number?
Oh, sure. Mail
We'll
ID,
share,
and
sir.
we will share it
Satyaprakash
with
ji,
you. We'll share it.
we'll share you his mobile number and email address also, our contact also,
Okay,
and
sir.
we'll reach you. Don't worry, sir.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
Thank.
we'll go for the next question. MSMEs are neglected in terms of human resource too. Is there any way we can uplift or boost the employees so that attrition rate can be reduced?
yeah. No, attrition rate can be reduced definitely. So, uh, you, you have all the names and the mail IDs of the questions. Okay. So attrition rate, as we have just discussed, the first thing is you have to find the generic requirement of the employee, what he wants. Okay, and it should be an ongoing process. It's not just one time you retain him, because you have to keep on. It's a feedback and feed forward mechanism. You have to adopt to motivate and retain the people, retain the employee. So it varies from person to person, because and also at the size of the level of the employee. There is a in the pyramid of the organization, this thing, you have the top management, middle management, and lower management. So it varies how the retention steps to be taken varies from person to person. And generally, I have told these are the things, like, salary is not the only thing, or designation is there, perks is there, and other benefits are there. So you have to play with all these things to retain the person, employee.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Next question is, how important is salary or hike for attraction and retention of employees?
Yeah, as I told you, salary is not the only criteria, because if you really want the employee to be retained, you can give him more responsibility coupled with little salary. He will be happy. I am sure on that. So that is a thing you have to identify two, three parameters on the parameters which I have discussed, and play around and see that it is a constant and continuous appraisals and feedback, feed forward mechanism. Definitely, it can be achieved.
Uh, Thank you, sir. Next question is, should the employer give multiple chances to underperformer or wait for his or her improvement?
Multiple? Sorry, a lot
Uh,
of echo is coming up.
yeah.
Okay, okay. Multiple?
Should the employer give multiple chances to underperformer or wait for his or her improvement?
What, multiple?
Should the employer give multiple chances to underperformer or wait for his or her improvement?
No, you need not have to wait for the improvement. Sometimes you have to, in advance, give whatever is required, or whatever you think that he or she will take it and stay. So you have to be proactive. You don't be reactive. Once you are reactive, then you will find lot of employees leaving the organization. You have to be proactive.
Thank you, sir. Uh, should we count HCM as intangible asset? How it can be calculated?
What?
Should we count HCM as intangible asset?
ST.
HCM,
Human capital
HCM.
management.
human capital management, as intangible asset, how it can be calculated?
No, human capital management actually, human capital management is very is required, and how you can achieve. I mean, uh, like you have, what is it? Human capital management.
Sir, human capital management, should we count human capital management as intangible asset? How it can be calculated? Read the question.
No, it's intangible asset, yes, but you have to be, uh, careful in. Uh, it's a very general question, because Nilesh Desai, sir, you can
Yeah.
answer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, Desai sir, can you answer this question? He is not able to understand, hearing problem, some speaker problems.
Okay, I'll do that. See, whether we can measure into human capital management, that the latest studies, Infosys did that for their human capital as of the balance sheet item, but in the stock prices, it is reflected. So for MSME, can we do similar thing, or is there any measure available known to you
No,
which
echo is
can
there.
help? Okay, Pinaki, go to next question.
Thank you, sir. What is the role of Esops in employee retention?
Okay. Esops is that is the latest technique, or the facility the SMEs are offering, employee stock option, or you call it as employee ownership thing. That will really play a vital role in retaining people. So that is a very good concept.
Thank you, sir. Next question will go, is government doing anything to support the employees of MSME industry?
MSME industries.
Is government doing anything to support the employees of MSME industry?
Who?
Government.
Yeah. In fact, government is supporting the SMEs, MSMEs. Recently, we had discussion with there are organizations where delayed payments for SMEs are handled by the state and central governments. So there are a lot of steps have been taken by the central and state governments to see that the delayed payments are processed and arranged to the SMEs, MSMEs. So that way, government is supporting the MSMEs, and in fact, 50% of the turnover from all India is from MSMEs. So they are playing a vital role, and government is supporting MSMEs.
Oh, thank you, sir. Next question: how can employee engagement be increased for longer retention?
Yeah. Employee engagement. In fact, employee engagement starts at a very early stage. In fact, that should be a long-term proposition for the HR function. They have to plan well in advance the engagement of the employee, and also should take care of the uh, loyalty. I mean, in the sense that retention, both have to be. It's an ongoing process and should be on a quarterly basis. We have to review the employee's performance and also do a HR audit. Okay, HR audit is called, where you see what is each and every employee is loaded with, how he is loaded, what he is doing, what is his capability. So this is an ongoing process, and see that the engagement starts in the beginning and continues till the exit interview. Okay.
Uh, how can we understand employees' branding? Can we nurture it?
Yeah, definitely. Employee branding, employers, in fact, that is where it's something like the HR person has to do marketing job. Actually, that's why the HR and marketing goes hand in hand. HR, marketing and HR, because what marketing guy does is to sell his product. Okay, whereas the HR person has to see that the employee branding is done. Employer and it is very difficult for SMEs, whether if it is Intel, Dell, or Microsoft, or these type of organizations, TCS, and all. They'll always go and join them. But joining MSME and the HR plays a major role in talent acquisition. So it's a real challenge for HR, and it's really we can nurture the employee and the employer also.
Thank you, sir. Two more questions to go. We'll just wrap up immediately. How can human capital value be increased?
Yeah, definitely. No? That is where the main thing goes. Human capital, the human resources. That's why it's called resources. You have so many resources, like you have water, or all the four elements. Like that, human is a resource. You can't replace, even though now you have the robots and all. But it is being handled by human only. You have to write the Python language, or it is a computer. You have to do language. Machine is there. He go garbage in, garbage out. So human value will not go anywhere, irrespective of the automation. Okay, it will create more employment to the country or the world.
Sir, can this increase of this human capital value be measured?
Yeah, it can be measured. It can be measured. It will be measured, and that is the reason why the HR people are there, and it can be measured. There are a lot of ways in measuring that. A lot of tests are there, so it can be measured.
Last question, sir. Why the
Yeah.
ground force, that is MSME industry employees, bottom of pyramid, are so much neglected?
No, MSMEs are not neglected now. Earlier, yes, it was neglected, but now they're as that's what if today's startup or SME is tomorrow's MNC. In fact, Narayan Murthy, sir, who is the Infosys chief, he started in a small way. In fact, I have information that the IIT graduates, nobody could imagine that they just joined because okay, no job is available. They joined Infosys and now and even a stock option and all, they're minting money. Okay, so that way, it's, MSMEs are not neglected. No, earlier also it was not. That's what MSME, any small, any big organization. HCL also started in a garage. Any organization starts with a garage, in a garage, and then it grew so heavily. I was HCL for 10 years. No, I have seen that. So MSMEs are not neglected now. More importance are given to MSMEs nowadays by both central and state governments.
Thank you so much. I mean, that was the last question.
Yeah.
So we'll go forward with Desai sir. He would be talking about the next webinar.
Yeah. Please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Our next webinar will be on 11th 12 at 4 o'clock. The topic will be MSMEs, paving the path for $5 trillion economy. Our government wants $5 trillion economy to be reached by 2025. And is it possible for government to reach that target without the support of MSME? Because MSMEs play very crucial role in supply chain for large OEMs and other things. And with PLI scheme of about 2.5 lakh crores and higher and continuously increasing, this is the space where more jobs can be created as well as cost competitiveness can be achieved by various methods. So next topic webinar will be handled by Mr. Subandru Sarkar and myself, and we request everybody to participate in very important webinar, which will open up a lot of possibilities for all my MSME colleagues, which can take advantage of that this thing. So we'll come to close of this webinar now, and request everybody to participate in next webinar. Thank you everybody to participate. Thank you, Mr. Sudhakar, for giving very good talk, and I think some of our friends in MSME will definitely come to take your advice. Thank you everybody. Goodbye.